Hi, I'm live. Okay, so it's me, Helen Pritchard. Common theme. Common theme is that people commit to doing things and then don't do them. And in my world, we call this being off the bus. And what we mean by that is when you decide to do something, whether it's join, for example, you're inside the LinkedIn Mastermind, you're inside the Business Mastermind, you sign up to do a challenge, or you sign up to create a new business, or bring out a new offer, or do a launch, or do a 5-day challenge, or whatever it is that you decide you're going to do in your business. And what happens is you fall off the bus. And what I mean by that is that you don't do the things that you know you've got to do. And the less you do it, the harder it feels to get back on. And what happens is, when you say you're going to do something and you're full of enthusiasm and you pay for the course, you pay for the program, you do the thing, you sign up to the thing, you decide you're going to do whatever you're going to do in your business, and then you don't do those things, loads of things happen. The number one thing that I see is people just feel embarrassed, they feel guilty, they feel ashamed, and they turn a lot of that inward. Sometimes they turn it outwards and it becomes like a blame game. Well, I've not done this thing because it's not fair for me because I've got all these things happening, or this bad thing happened to me, or something happened to somebody that I love, or something happened, or it's just the way that I feel, or I haven't got enough time, or, somebody was horrible to me, so I've been in a bit of funk, or it's the kids, or I run these big programs, thousands of people, and then we've heard everything. Those are valid reasons for falling off the bus in that person's opinion, right? So I'm not here to talk about reasons and excuses and all that. I'm just giving you. It's a loud noise. I think it's my computer. I'm just giving you my lived experience, right? I'm giving you my lived experience, what I hear. But a lot of people also turn that inwards. And it's my fault. I'm not good enough. I'm lazy. I'm not committed. I always do this. This is just what I'm like. Or they might, and they start to think, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to achieve. I'm never going to, it's my fault. Yeah, it's me. I'm broken in some way. And it's a real common pattern that I see. I've got to be honest. I've got to be really honest. It's a common pattern that I see. We spend a lot of time and energy in how to keep people on the bus and keep people in the right mindset and doing the work, right? Whether it is marketing, whether it is something like the Business Mastermind, where people have got to be self-motivated enough to do the training that they need for the spot they're in now, right? And then implement it. Or the LinkedIn Mastermind, some of you will be watching from there, where it's a bit more structured. You just go through the process and do the things, right? 2 things stop people when it comes to staying on the bus with anything in their lives, businesses. Number 1 is mindset. People just get to they just hit a wall. And I see this again and again and again, because people they do 75% of the things that they promise themselves they're going to do, and then they just stop. And then they go off in another direction. They get to the point just before they're about to have a breakthrough, and then they withdraw, they retreat. And then they go off in another direction, and then they retreat. And every time it's like chipping away at their results. So you can see tangibly, right? If you don't stay on the bus doing the work in your business, tangibly your leads dry up, your money dries up. It's evidence, right? The less you do the things you know you've got to do, the less of the results that you desire you get, right? So it's like that's one thing, right? The other thing is motivation, because doing the things you need to do day after day after day after day after day can become pretty boring. You have to dig deep sometimes in business. You have to self-motivate massively. You have to keep yourself self-accountable. And some days it's like, this is a lot. I've been doing this thing, maybe not getting the results I've desired, and you know what, maybe I'm just going to do something else. But ultimately, it doesn't matter whether you do my program or someone else's program, or you don't have a program or a mentor and you just do your own thing, but you commit to doing the things, and then you don't do them, and it chips away. I think it just chips away at you. It's a bit like, so I can equate this to weight loss with myself. It's an area in my life I've never been super disciplined because I'm prepared to be a bit fat, not prepared to be poor. So I've always been a bit like, oh, my lifestyle is more important. I love drinking, I love socializing, I love eating out, I love food, I love cooking, and I self-justify it to myself in a lot of ways. But deep down, and I always wanted to lose that 10 pounds, right? Coming out of lockdown, I was like, it's more than 10. It's more than 10. But when I thought about doing what I knew I needed to do to lose the weight, right? I felt demotivated already before I even got started, right? I was like, oh, because I always did enough to lose the 5 pounds and then just slip back. And I've got this history of, like a lot of people, I've done different fads, I've done different clubs, I've done different exercise things, different food things. And, I just, got to do it again. And almost like setting yourself up for failure, because I've never had the evidence of actually pushing through and losing the whole 10 pounds, right? Well, not for a long time, anyway. But sometimes you just get to a point, you put your money where your mouth is, you invest in somebody like I've done with Adam Stevens, and you do the things, right? And I've been doing the things. I've been sending in photos and everything, eating and drinking, and I've been, I'd say, 85, 90% on track to what I committed to do, which was more plant-based, less alcohol, more water, more fruit, right? No snacks. But like anything, you get to the point where you're like, I do this a long time. It feels like a long time. I'm getting results, but I'm not getting quite the great results I was hoping for, I was expecting. And maybe I will have a bit of that dessert. I still sent the pictures. I sent it in. And I got the feedback, right? Is that moving you closer or further away from your goals? That's my language, not his. He said something different, but basically. And I felt super demotivated and deflated. And I was like, I've done all this good stuff. And then this one thing, and part of me wanted to rebel and be like, well, forget it. I'm fine. I'll just be on my own. I can do my own thing. But I know I won't, right? So I reconnected with my mission, right? I reconnected with why I signed up. I got out my own way. I got out my own inner teenage rebel. Yeah. I stopped listening to my own bullshit. My desire to go, you know what, forget it. I can do this on my own. I want to be praised and encouraged all the time. I want to be top of the class, and I don't like it when I'm not, right? It's a lot of shit in there, right? There's a lot of triggers in all of us about everything. But I got clearer, I got back, I had a bit of a sulk, got back to it, back on my mission, back on the bus, carried on. Because I know if I do the things I commit to do, and he's the person to help me, I'll get the result. It was really interesting for having a self-awareness of that, right? Because this is what happens in my businesses, right? So when people come to me and they're like, oh, I've done this, this, and this, well, I haven't done that thing I promised to do because this, and this, right? It's my excuse. I was at a party, I was this, that. And people come to me and I'll be like, if you didn't do that thing, so is that moving you further towards or away your goals? And you can see the deflation in people, right? Like Rochelle said. So Rochelle came to me and said, she's never off the bus, to be fair, but she was like, I'm at 100 for the webinar, so I'm not that happy about it, but I feel like I've done everything I could have done. And I was like, we've got ages to go. Like, we can do all that before 11 o'clock tomorrow. And you could see she was telling the story. She was like, that Helen Pritchard, like nothing's ever enough for that woman. But that's the standard that I want people to aim for, right? And she did the work and pulled out all the stops and doubled the webinar and had a great time. Because I know deep down, she would have been disappointed with the results because business is maths, right? You don't get as many people on, you're not going to get as many conversions, right? My job is to motivate Rochelle to do the work, the extra work on top of all the work she's doing anyway, to get the results that she needs, right? And keep her focused and keep her on track. So when she says, well, what about doing this and what about doing that? I'm like, it's all about what we help people not to do, right? What they do. And I get it. I get it how irritating it is and frustrating it is and demoralizing it is if you're in one of our programs and you're like, you post and you're like, oh, I've got this, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, but what about this, and this? Like, you said we do this, we said we do this. Let's hold it accountable. Or people come to me and say, or not tend to come to me and say it, but to Abby and go, I don't really think I'm getting much out of this program that I paid for with Helen. And then Abby says, have you been to the calls? Well, no, because I've not really been, I've not really had time. It's like, well, that was a commitment that you'd come to the calls or watch on the replay, right? It's our job to keep people as focused and on the bus as we can. But I wanted to talk today a little bit about the process, right? What's the process of getting back on the bus? And what I do in my businesses is I do something, I analyze what worked and what didn't, and then I teach it, okay? So this is my process, and I wanted to talk about it because hopefully somebody somewhere, one of you guys, probably someone who's paid me money, who's committed to do the work, who isn't doing the work, and it hasn't been showing up because they feel all those feelings I talked about at the beginning, right? You feel guilty, you feel shame, you feel mad at me, the world, your circumstances. Yeah, it's not fair because it's all right for you because, like, I feel all those feelings too, right? So number one thing. Number one, admit it. Be really brutally honest with yourself that you've even fallen off the bus and you need help. Number one is the first rule of anything is admitting it to yourself, right? We hear this sometimes in the business mastermind, the LinkedIn mastermind. I need to be held accountable. It's like, you need to hold yourself accountable, right? That's your problem. Not that we're not holding you accountable enough, right? We give you everything. We give you calls to come to. We give you, in the business mastermind, you get a mentor group. In the LinkedIn mastermind, you've got coaches, you've got groups, you've got everything there. We do not need to hold you accountable. You need to hold yourself accountable and commit to doing the things, right? You have to admit that to yourself. Yeah. And if one of your things that you've not been doing, if you're one of my programs, is coming to the calls, you need to commit to going to the calls and make that happen. And we'll talk about that in a second. Number one, though, self-awareness and vision. I think that's probably one of my superpowers is knowing myself. Right, I know myself so well. I'm very, very self-aware. That includes the good and the bad, and very self-observant. So it's like an out-of-body experience when I see myself, which is why I think I can teach back to people the stuff that I go through. But this is the hardest bit. Number one, isn't it? Yeah, I did it. I fell off the bus in August. I talked about this before. This is why I'm doing a 30-day video challenge in September, which hopefully this counts for, even though I didn't use the hashtag, right? But I'm committed to going live every day in September. Why? Because the more lives I do, the more people find me, the more people I can help. The more people I can help, the more money I make. The more money I make, the more people I can help, right? So we'll come on to mission in a second. Number one, first step, get back on the bus is admit it. Second step is to actually reframe your emotions around the situation that you're in. What I mean by that is to have a little bit of a reality check. This isn't aimed at anyone in particular, but if it feels like it's you, then maybe, you need to be more self-aware, okay? A lot of what we're doing particularly in business, particularly in marketing. So my thing is really teaching people visibility and marketing, right? Particularly in marketing, the things that we are doing are not life and death. We are not making decisions that are going to cause harm to people. They're not decisions that ultimately are going to lead to a disaster. Yeah. Most things that go wrong in the business world go wrong kind of slowly, and even then it's failure, it's financial challenge, it's not health related, it's not life or death, it's not. Most of us have a phone, internet, running water. Pretty lucky. We are in a pretty good situation. We are at an incredible intersection of technology and opportunity where we can actually run businesses, be more visible, do our marketing from our broom cupboards, surrounded by calendars, instead of my nice office, which I vacated. Anyway, we can do it from here, right? We have a computer. People run businesses from their phones. Yeah, it's people isn't that amazing? Aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky? Every time you have a shower, think how lucky you are. Have you ever been to a festival? Remember what it's like on that first shower back. Make every shower feel like that shower. Oh my goodness, running hot water in my warm, safe house. Standing, for most of us, in a healthy body. Hands that work. Shampoo. Every morning should start with that level of gratitude. And just reframe the things that you've got to do in your business, or you should be doing in your business, into what they are, which is usually posting some stuff on social media, or making some phone calls, or showing up on video, whatever it might be. So try and reframe it a little bit. Step back, refocus on it, refocus on what you actually have got to do, right? What is your plan? If you're in my world, particularly if you're in the business mastermind watching this, go back and do business clarity in a day. Go back through all the things, and we've got webinars for this. If you're not, we can show you what we mean by this. But your value, joy, profit. Where do you add the most value? Where do you get the most joy in your business and the people you work with? Where do you make the most profit? Value, joy, profit. Everything always comes back to that. Everything. What's the one thing you're selling to one person at a time? How many of those things do you need to sell to hit the targets that you've got? What are your actual targets? You have got targets, right? You've got targets for your business. Daily, weekly, monthly, annual targets. We're running businesses, guys. We need to know, are we missing our targets? Do we need to refocus? What do we need to do to hit those targets? Business is maths, right? And without targets, you are pretty much going in it blind, right? So let's refocus. And also, I want business to be fun and easy and enjoyable for everybody. I want you to work really hard, but because it's fun and easy and enjoyable. Does that make sense? It shouldn't be horrible. It should be fun, joy. That's what we're aiming for. Yeah, easy, good. You have to work hard and do the graft, right? But for a reason, more impact, yeah? But relax. What are you doing today to be kind to yourself? Ask that question a lot in the Catalyst. What are you doing today for yourself? Tough times, sometimes tough days. Tough times, tough days, tough minutes. We all have them. We all have circumstances way beyond our control that we would prefer were different. But try and relax into the moment, however that looks to you. Whether it is getting out, seeing the world, going to the trees, going for a walk, having a bath, lying down flat, all of that stuff, right? So we've admitted we're off the bus, so we're just going to reframe, we're going to refocus, and we're going to relax about it, yeah? Okay? Good. Number 3, mission. I love this. And we as a business are so refocused on our mission, and it feels good. Our mission is to help 1 million people go from struggle to success. And everything we do is aligned with that mission, right? How every day we're helping more people. This will be helping more people. Our whole mission is to help more people for free. And the people who do invest in working with us on a deeper level Some of you are watching that now. Lots of love. You're the guys and girls who invest into this business so we can help more people for free. So I have the time and the headspace to create thousands of hours of free content for people who are not as lucky as you, who aren't in a position to invest, aren't in a position to take that action to work with us on that deeper level. They're just that few steps behind you, and you're the people who are investing into their future, right? And we're the vehicle to do that. We are the way that gets amplified through us, through our work, through our partners, through the impact that we have, and it all works out in a really beautiful ecosystem. What's your mission? What is the legacy you're going to leave on the world when your business is gone, when you're gone? What is the impact that you are having? How does the ripple effect impact the world in a positive way? Who do you help, and who do they help? And then who do they help? And then who do they help? The ripple effect is huge. Yeah, I teach people how to get better at marketing. People get better at marketing, they make more money. They have a bigger impact, right? When people have more money and having a bigger impact, they're happier. Two go hand in hand. They're not exclusive. And when people have more money and they're happier, they're better. They feel like they're a better person. They feel more confident. They feel more pride in themselves. Better partners, better parents. Better. They look after themselves better. They have better sex. They invest more in causes that they care about. They invest more into other businesses. They invest more into employed staff. They just show up in a better way. And that impacts everybody, from the people they buy the coffee off and they're friendlier to them, to the charity ball that they put their hand up and bid on something. Like, it's a beautiful thing, right? It's huge ripple effects to millions of people, right? What does your business do? What's the impact on them, and them? Okay, so really connect with that, write it down, draw pictures around it, put it where you can see it so you can feel it every single day, and make that the North Star of everything that you do. Make that what guides you. Of course, you're going to go off on bad tangents and all the rest of it, but is everything you do leading you towards this goal, this mission? And your mindset is never the most important thing then. Mission over mindset in the moment. Mindset in the moment is temporary. Your mission should be something overarching that you're moving towards, working towards every single day. When you get out of bed, that's what you're moving towards. And your mindset in the moment is temporary. Yeah, we all been there, right? The same set of circumstances, everything can be fine. But it's just women. But same set of circumstances, the next day, not fine. Like, it's just temporary emotions. Never make a permanent decision in a temporary emotion. Get back into a good energy by doing things I talked about gratitude, about mission, about refocusing, re-energizing, getting back into nature, having a moment. And then it's go time then. Yeah, recalibrated and let's go. My favourite, decluttering. And I'm really lucky now because I've got Katie and she does my decluttering for me. But decluttering. I had a break today and I said to Katie, I'm going to go upstairs for half an hour if you want to get in the office, because I work so much better when the office is decluttered. It's not quite there. Oh, it is. It's been all collected here. But you can't see in front of me, but it was just covered in stuff. Now it's not covered in stuff and I feel loads better. Just declutter where you work, declutter where you live, declutter your handbag, declutter your car, declutter your wardrobes, declutter your drawer, declutter that. Like, it's going to make you feel a million times better. As I said to Picky Jake's once, there's 100 grand on that bookcase. If you declutter it, you'll make 100 grand, because energy stagnates in clutter. Psychologically as well. Clear your digitally, clear your emails, right? Get rid of all those people on your bank that you've paid or don't pay anymore. Get rid of it all, yeah? Old workbooks, notebooks, in them, burn them, get rid. Fresh. Love it. That's decluttering is your intention to make things happen, in my opinion. Fresh head, fresh brain, fresh space. Right, now we're going to do some work. Okay, so write 5 things you can do today So forget all the things you can't do, you haven't done, you wanted to do, you should have done, and you didn't do. Forget those. Write them down, burn them, gone. 4 million, all that, right? Write 5 things you can do today on a piece of paper. You can write them down now if you want. 5 things, 5 small steps that you can do today. It's going to get you back on the bus, whatever your bus is. And then there's 2 things that you didn't want to mention, that you didn't want to write down, that you didn't want to do. Write those down as well. You know what they are. Write them down. Who knew? Number 6 step, but really the number 1 step to getting back on the bus is doing the things. You've written them down, including those 2. Get them done today. No excuses. Put a deadline on it. Do the thing. Yeah? Commit to it. Do it. It's a discipline. You'll be fine. Put everything else on hold. Put the kids on an iPad. Turn off Netflix. Unscroll yourself out of Facebook or TikTok or wherever you've been hanging out and not doing the things. Do all of those 7 things. The 5 easy things and the 2 hard. Get them done today. And number 7, reward yourself. And then repeat. Always, always have a deadline on doing things. And then reward yourself. And then do them again. Tomorrow. And again. And again. And again. Just got to keep going. Resilience, showing up, doing the things that you promised yourself you'd do, doing the things you promised me you'd do. Those things need to be done. You don't do them, I'll be sad about it. I'll be disappointed. Fundamentally, my life probably won't change that much. If you don't do the things that you committed to do, you're not going to get the results that you desired. Yeah, so if you've joined a program, if you've invested in something, if you've even just committed to something, you've done that for a reason. There was a reason you bought the course, the program, the mastermind, the membership. There's a reason you gave your time and energy to a free webinar, to watching this content, to, coming to a 5-day challenge. So do the things that reconnect with your reason for doing those things. Follow these steps. And get back on the bus. We're all waiting for you, right? We're all waiting for you. So let's do it. Let's do it. I want you to go, do it, have fun with it. It's just a game, right? Business is just a game. Life is just a game. It's just a game. You can't lose. Do the things you need to do. Commit to yourself. Hold yourself accountable, but follow that process, right? Admit it. Reframe and refocus and relax about it. Reconnect with your mission. Declutter. Write your 5 things you can do today. Add those 2 you didn't want to write down. Do all 7. Reward yourself in some way. And then do it all again. Have an amazing afternoon, everyone. Lots of love. Bye, guys.